Jacob Olanya, but also the country continues to look for the next Speaker of Parliament. How things quickly move on, right? You die one day before you're even buried, they're getting someone to replace you at your job. But I'm with Brenda Mahooro here with us. How are you?
I am doing well.
Very happy. Did you sleep?
Yeah, I slept.
How did you sleep?
Let me tell you what the Bible says. Before I tell you, let me tell you what the Bible says.
What does the Bible say about how you slept?
Before I tell you how I slept,
okay.
That will tell you how I slept. The Bible says, to those God loves, to those God loves, He gives them a sound sleep.
Okay.
So if you know that God loves me, I got a sound sleep. And if you know that you're there and you're not sleeping, if you know that you're there and you're not sleeping, please consult God. But I got a good sleep.
Anyway, we have a press review right now, and in the Daily Monitor today, the question, what exactly happened during Olanya visit? Now, from different scripts, the 5-member team that visited Speaker Jacob Olanya in Seattle, Washington, have been speaking of at variance over the state in which the deceased was found and if actually he spoke to them or not. That is on page 415. Remember, the 5 people who went to see him were General Thacheng, who is the Minister of Health, or former, if she wins the Speaker race. For protocol, there was Chris Obore, who is the Parliamentary Director of Communications and Public Affairs, Francis Emuna, who is Jacob Olanya's brother, Anita Mong, who is Deputy Speaker of Parliament, and Norbert Mao, who is the Democratic Party General. They seem to have, like, as if different accounts of what particularly happened there, but well, read the full story on page 4 and 5. And 14 declare interest in Olanya's job. At least 13 NRM MPs have declared interest in Olanya's job, and one from the opposition, Ibrahim Semujunganda, has also declared interest in Olanya's job, but I'll be reading more of this on page 2 and 3 of the Daily Monitor.
Yeah, well, the Daily Monitor is saying 3 here in New Vision. It says 13 NRM MPs V for Speaker. And you can see there is Anita Amongi, Jacob Oboth, Jane Cheng. So there's all of them are really contesting. So we are going to see which aspirant stands a higher chance. The election is due to Friday. So let's wait who is going to be taking the speakership. Full story on page 6.
Yes, now the opposition has fronted Semujunganda for speaker race, making the total number of people seeking to replace Olanya 14. And let me just mention the names. Maybe your MP might be in it. Anita Among, who is the Bukedia woman MP, but also the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Jacob Oboth, West Budamba. But my money is on Jacob Oboth, just saying. Theodore Sechikugo, Jackson Karugaba, Jane Ruth Acheng, Dennis Oboa, Sarah Acheno Pendi, Pius Wakabi, Florence Asimwe, Felix Okot, Alex Brandon Chintu, John Okot Amos, Jackson Atima Lee, and Ibrahim Semujunganda. Those are the people contesting for the speakership race that probably happen by Friday. NRM needs to first sit under the SEC committee and then sieve out particularly who, because all of these can't go. SEC needs to first, particularly for NRM, SEC needs to first vote, and then they will front a candidate there or two. But read the full story on page 2 or 3 of the Daily Monitor.
Yeah. Government markets accumulate 1.4 billion areas, 1.4 billion shillings areas, and get yourself a copy and see why the low revenue, the report attributed the problem to absence of an automated revenue management system, leaseholders who were not paying monthly market rents, and unoccupied unoccupied stalls and lockups. A full story on page 3. And there's a problem in these markets. The report revealed that the market infrastructure was not well maintained. Walls with old peelings, paint, cracked floors, lack of toilets. Full story on page 3.
Now, the finance minister has restored some hope for us, and he says that, that is Matia Kasaija, he says that the rising grocery prices are temporary. Don't worry, everything's okay. And he says the rising cost of commodities is temporary and we will subsidize soon. Now, and I quote him, as we may all observe, the main causes of the recent increase in commodity prices are external and thus beyond the ability of policymakers to deal with. We should not panic or alarm our people. This is a temporary situation that is going to subsidize sooner or later, he said. Remember that according to him, he says that no, the rising prices are temporary, so let's just hang in there because the economy is doing what? It's going, according to him. Yep.
And then yeah, Olanya's influence cannot be replaced. That is what the relatives and neighbors are saying, and they're saying Olanya was practical, and everybody who would watch him do everything would learn at least something from him. And there's the right sense of judgment, what the neighbors are talking about, and they're saying Jacob was really a teacher and a mixed bag of talent. I need a mixed bag of talent.
You know, I usually have a theory. How about we start saying those things when people are still alive? When he was alive, were people saying he was a talent?
No, not really, because
so why don't we start saying things when people are still alive, so that when we die, when you come to Byron and you say you're a mixed bag of talent, I'll feel good.
You see, Byron, why they don't do
why
that?
Don't you tell me when I'm still alive? Why do you have to wait for me when to die?
You see why they don't do that? Because they think that it's vital and it's irrelevant. You won't give it. Can
I tell you for free? It is irrelevant now because you're telling us so that we do what?
But
you need to tell the person. It's
don't I tell you?
to
Have
us.
you ever come and said, Brenda really has told me today I'm smart?
I'm talking about Olanya. I'm not talking about myself.
So that is what I'm saying. That we usually tell them, but they do not give them. Yes, they do not give them an ear, and even they don't.
I have never had anyone say Olanya is a public figure. Me, I'm not a public figure. I'm not the Speaker of Parliament. I've never had anyone, even on the floor of Parliament, say, Mr. Speaker, you're a bag of talent. I've never had it.
By that time, they're always serious.
I
so
think what I'm saying,
about
and I think what I'm saying is, guys, let's normalize telling people when they're still alive. Why do you have to first wait for me to die? Where you tell me I'm a fresh bag of talent?
We tell them.
I'm saying I've never had it from them. What I'm saying is I encourage, tell them more. If you've been telling them, tell them more.
Even write it in the news.
I don't know, whatever. If you want to appreciate me, if you love me so much, and you appreciate me so much, you want to tell me nice things, you tell them to me when I'm still alive. Because when I die, I'm not going to hear them. The people around me, my enemies who are after me, are going to be the ones that are around me hearing. So don't tell me when I'm dead, tell me when I'm alive. That's my point. But let's move on. Skilling project. On page 30 of the Daily Monitor, skilling project to equip Karamoja youth. Now, according to State House, the Napak Industrial Hub will equip youth with skills in tailoring, shoemaking, knitting, and weaving. And they will start observing around 600 beneficiaries every single year. So, for the people in Karamoja, we thank you. But also, there was news yesterday talking about Karamoja. It might not be here. That Karamoja, some people who are equipped with who are equipped with some few guns and whatnot, killed some people from Ministry of Energy and Ministry and the UPDF. Some of those Karamoja raiders. So, yesterday on Twitter, the commander of the land forces, Mozi Kainerugaba, said, "Now, I think it's time." He posted a picture of a few UPDF cadres heading towards Karamoja to start fighting them off. So he says, yes, hell is coming to you. To use his words, to use his exact words, he said, hell is coming to you. So for those who killed those people, hell is coming to you. I'm just passing on the communication. But yeah, read the full story on the skilling on the Napak Industrial Hub on page 30 of the Daily Monitor.
Yeah, and then here, Olanya to be buried after elections, House recalled. Yeah, people have been having mixed reactions. Why isn't there any budget for Byron, for our late speaker? Yeah, here is the full story. Olanya to be buried after elections. That is what the House has recalled.
Yes.
And here, Lambo sub-region mourns death of Speaker Olanya, and here, a mentor who was once MP for Lower Madi said Olanya mentored them and took time off to understand legislators. Full story on page 7.
Now, a very sad story here about really labor laws and whatnot. A police officer in Kwanya district has reported that she has worked for 6 years without salary. Now, trouble started after the officer added an initial in her name during registration for the national identification card, and that is why she hasn't been paid for 6 years. Well, the background is simple, and over the years, the government officials have used the dire welfare of police officers as a pitch for more funding. However, the 916 billion police budget for this financial year spared only 94 billion for officers' welfare, with only 18 of every 100 officers able to get accommodation. 18 out of 100 officers are able to get accommodation. That is what they're saying. And there is a story here of a female police officer in Kwanya who hasn't been paid for 6 years. That is
6 years.
That is both sad but also patriotic at the same time.
Whenever they take only 1 month minus paying you and you start throwing tantrums here and there. But how about that? Oh, why he doesn't have any responsibility? Here on page 10, the increase in commodity prices is a temporary situation. The government, in an effort to protect Ugandans against the rising fuel prices, is moving to tighten regulations. And the government to tighten fuel trade regulations about fuel prices. Read full story on page 10 of the New Vision.
And in business news, Uganda no longer imports medical protective gear, and that is what the UNBS is saying. UNBS is the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, has said that Uganda no longer imports personal protective gear because of improved local production capacity enhanced by the coming of COVID-19. And the Danish government is also providing additional 6 billion worth of equipment to open regional testing centers for locally manufactured goods in Mbale, Arua, Gulu, and Mbarara. Read the full story on page 32. And Uganda seeks to grow coffee exports to China, and find out how they plan on doing that on page 32 of the Daily Monitor.
And then here in the community news, Lira street lights dim as crime rises in city. According to reports, about 141 of the 292 street lights in the city are not functional. Read full story on page 37. And here, culture beliefs curtailing maternity care. Read full story on page 37 and see the report.
Yes, and in sports news, one of the things you need to look out for is the World Cup that's happening anytime now. For exactly 243 days left. But here in the Uganda Cup, Villa eject rivals Express, and the match ended 0-0, and Villa progressed 4-3 on penalties. That was a round of the 32 game, and also for the Bright Stars and Bull won 4-3 also on penalties after they drew 2-2. But read the full story on the last page of the Daily Monitor.
And then here, community news, malaria cases blamed on churches and culture here in Palisa.
Yes, I agree.
Why you agree?
Let's read the full story to find out.
Yeah, read your full story on page 39 and see. This story seems interesting. And in the sports news, how to treat injury. These Olanya and bikes were meant for the other. Jacob Olanya was not just a politician or a speaker of parliament, but a keen lover of sport. especially motorsport. Full story on the last page of the New Vision. Get yourself a copy of the New Vision and Daily Monitor and read more of these stories here. We'll just give you hints, but you can get yourself a copy and read full stories. We're just going to go in for a short break, but you're going to come back with the talk of the town.
Do you know that you can now enjoy great enriching shows anywhere through the Family TV app? Here is how to download it. Open Play Store on your phone. Search for the Family TV app. Click Install. After installing it, open it and enjoy enriching content anywhere, everywhere, anytime. Family TV, enriching lives.
With 200 million people aged between 15 and 24, Africa has the youngest population in the world. This can either be an opportunity or a ticking time bomb. At Young and Flourishing Hub, we seek to turn these numbers into an opportunity for Africa to become a global leader. Join us every Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. only on Church of Uganda Family TV, as we take you through the discussion of different topics that will enable you to become world-class leaders and mentors, grow your finances, and become world-class innovators. Young and Flourishing, transforming Africa.
You're not alone.
Cancer has increasingly become a global health challenge.
Today, since we've sat here, I've been to the toilet 5 times.
More often, we unknowingly endanger ourselves in the illusion of indulging in fun.
You had better style up. Man, keep watching.
Simple acts of life omission or commission may cause irreversible health damage to our bodies. We ought to be aware of, and whenever necessary, to consult and get the doctor's help.
Can cancer be passed from a mother to fetus?
Yes, genetic science shows that it is possible for a mother to pass cancer to the child through the placenta.
Cancer is not a death sentence. Early detection and treatment can save your life. The Change, an educative TV drama series on cancer.
My name is Alex Mugabe, and next to me,
Shalon Mugabe.
Today, we are hosting a group of couples here to learn together. to work together, to encourage one another, and to grow together. We are glad you can join us.
Welcome to Family Care.
Very honored, very excited. Our ministry is our passion.
Days while we are not talking. Now let us learn, we sort our issues, and then we move on. It's just that I didn't grow up seeing it or hearing it.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for waking up with us.
Good morning, our people. Let me hope you've woken up this morning.
Follow us on our social media platforms. That is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. That is at Church of Uganda Family TV. That is COU Family TV on all our social media platforms with the hashtag Morning Glory.
Good morning, this is Church of Uganda Family TV, and here we just spread happiness to you, and thank you for watching us from wherever you're watching us from. You're our #1 fan. We love you so much, and today we're at the top of the town. We're talking about the possibility of internet connectivity in 3 years. Is it possible to connect internet and to the whole world in 3 years?
Uganda.
Uganda.
Not to the whole world. The world already has internet. It's only us who don't have.
But in Uganda, is it possible according to whatever thing that you're going through? But anyway, and we really want to think there's been digital migrations that we've seen. First we had internet, cable internet, we evolved to internet cafe, Wi-Fi, 2G, 3G, 4G, and we are still on 4G, whereas other countries are in 5G, like China, Canada, South Korea, United States, Germany, United Kingdom. All these countries, like over 20 countries, in 5G, but in Uganda here we're still on 4G. So Byron, what do you have to talk about? Is there a possibility of internet connectivity in Uganda by 3 years, like every place having internet?
No.
Every place, every village, every district?
No.
Why are you saying that it's
Because
not possible?
it's not possible.
Why?
Because the numbers speak for themselves. It's very easy. Now, Uganda has a population of 46 million people, and that is in January 2021. That's last year, as of January 2021, and Uganda's population increased by 1.4 million. That is an increase of 3.2% between January 2020 and January 2021.
Yeah.
50.7% of Uganda's population is female, and while 49.3% is male. This is according to the UN. And just to make sure, 25.2% of Uganda's population lives in urban centers, while 74.8% lives in rural. That alone should tell you that just 25% is what are the people that live in urban centers. 74% of those people live in rural. Now, urban centers...
74% live in rural areas.
Yes. If I just mention a few urban centers that apparently have or don't have internet, Kampala, for example, we set up a MyUG Wi-Fi thing a few years ago. How has it done? It hasn't done anything, because right now I can't access Wi-Fi. I'm right in the middle of town, but I can't access Wi-Fi. I can't access internet. Sadly, even our service providers of internet are doing a very fake job, because sometimes internet depletes very fast. We had the OTT that was coming in. All these laws are against us. Facebook is still closed. It's still closed. It's still illegal to use Facebook. With such laws, you can't tell me no. In 3 years, we'll be able to get internet across the whole of Uganda. I don't think so. And in fact, I don't think it will be 3 years. I think it will be more like 30 years. But we'll see. We would like to hear from you. What do you think? I think for me it will be 30 years. Internet across Uganda. What I mean is, there is So if I have a smartphone and I go to Gulu or whatever, I can still access internet, right? Because of my service providers, either MTN or Airtel or any other network. I can be able to access internet. I think what they were meaning is having every particular place have internet.
Yeah, I mean that you can access internet.
Yes.
And I think was it like when by then the education minister and sports Jessica Lupo they introduced the internet hubs like in 10 districts. There were 10 districts. These internet hubs would help people to access, like in some communities, to access internet, for them for easy access because there was no internet. So they introduced these internet hubs. But these internet hubs, we are not seeing them anywhere. This was around 2018. We're not seeing them anywhere, and so they wanted to ease.
But also, I don't think it's a priority currently. I mean, KCA keeps bragging about a smart city this, smart city that. They chased away all our vendors. I can't buy ice cream on the road anymore. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, we have talked about the smart city. Now, in Rwanda, recently when they opened the border, but also when I visited the other day, my uncle, it might not be like Moses' uncle. Moses' uncle is different.
It's different from your uncle.
My uncle is different. But when but my uncle is like the vice president. Anyway,
you don't have to say that. We know. You don't have to say that. We understand your uncle.
Anyway, when I visited Kigali, do you know that starting in a few months, every bus stop, is going to be like a smart shop. So in the bus stop, when you stop there, you have Wi-Fi, you have coffee, you have I think milk ATMs. You know what a milk ATM is?
I don't know.
It's an ATM of milk.
Hey, you just
throw in a coin
and then the milk.
A mafaranga you get.
Here we also have.
It's okay.
The water. You just throw in a coin and the water comes.
That's okay. That's fine. What I'm saying is that such innovations that at every bus stop, even as people are waiting, they have access to Wi-Fi. There is Wi-Fi in that particular booth, in that particular bus booth. They have access to particular services, either there. Actually, they say that across the booth, they will have a digital kind of advertising. You know that digital advertising where there are videos running on the booth. People can advertise on it, whatnot. So I would say district, but the country is trying to generate money, but also moving towards smart city and actual smart city. For our friends at KCA, smart city means bouncing people off the street.
To go into the market.
So I don't understand. That is what smart city should look like, and that is what the possibility of internet looks like. Access to internet. Have you ever had anywhere? I know, Brenda, you really like watching movies. Have you had anywhere in our Western friends? I know it's bad to compare ourselves to those Western friends of ours, but because we are not at the same level. Have you ever had them complaining about internet? That internet here is so bad, it's so slow. Have you ever had them that I don't have internet?
No, I've never had them complaining about internet. And their internet does not buffer. Compared to here. Here you see we are here in the middle, but you enter into an elevator and internet really goes off. You cannot
But for you, how do you know it doesn't buffer? Were you there?
I see documentaries. I see a lot of people.
You see
they do not.
No, you don't watch documentaries. Watch movies.
I watch documentaries.
Yes, but someone might even think that America is very far now. You're comparing us badly. Let's come down here. Nairobi, our neighbors just across the thing. Do you know when you're in Nairobi? Their internet is also not the best, but you have at least Wi-Fi, at least one car back. At least there is Wi-Fi somewhere there, and it's not as expensive. Internet is not as expensive.
Does it have OTT?
No, that's the thing. Uganda.
Those are the challenges.
Guys, let me shock you. Uganda, we have very expensive internet, extremely expensive. Friends from outside countries coming like, you guys spend a lot of money on internet. Too much money. And you see, with such thinking and with such policies and taxes around internet, that that make it very, very expensive. I don't see it again happening across Uganda, to find that a child in Karamoja, yesterday you were talking about mobile phones and us making it possible. To find that a child in Karamoja can afford internet when there is cattle wrestling there, when there are guns, when there are... No, it's not possible because it's too expensive. You've just talked about the internet hubs.
Yeah, internet hubs. Yeah, they had introduced these internet hubs.
Where are they? What are they
to bring internet to undeserved communities like that side of Mahooro, what? Because they saw these.
My issue with those guys is you're putting them to undeserved communities, yet the ones you call deserved communities, like Pala, people don't have internet here. How about you start here? Or Entebbe, or Jinja, or Mukono. Make like we like calling it, the Central Business District. Central CBD combines Kampala, Entebbe, Jinja, Mukono, just around here. How about you make this a hub? Let's start with here. Me, I like with new beginnings. Start from home. Don't go to Karamoja to...
But even another thing, let's even begin with my UG. By now, here at Family TV, we are near City Square.
We are in the center.
City Square. By now, you would find a lot of people clogging there. Chambago University, there would be my UG, then there is Kabira Country Club.
University. Yeah, there are schools.
So you would find people clogged there to access this my UG. But with time, they first began with you could register with your name, email, and then you could access it. But with time, you had to put in a code, and then with time, you had to pay for. They would tell you pay for internet. Yet it is free.
Yeah, now that's the thing. Internet is expensive. So the possibility of Uganda getting internet, the whole Uganda getting internet in 3 years.
It's not possible. I think today I support. Today I'm on your side, Byron. And what are the challenges? Maybe the challenges maybe are on taxes, high taxes on data bundles. It's really, really, really high. And failed my UG, dysfunctional hubs that right now they're not working
anymore. By
the
way, let me just say that point of expensive data bundles has ended relationships. Because
what are you trying to say?
What am I trying to say? Because the boy can't sustain buying data bundles for the girl.
So you see, let me tell you, if you cannot sustain buying data bundles for a girl, then you know that you're not fit to be a real man.
That's not what I said.
Yes, you're not fit.
But,
so please, you have to prove your point.
We digress. Internet users in Uganda. Let me just give you also why I think that we are still a long way out, but also why I think that. The reason why our government is really not giving it a lot of priority now is because there were 12.1 million internet users in Uganda. That is in January, as of January 2021. And the number of internet users in Uganda increased between 2020 and 2021, increased by 1.5 million. And that was basically attributed to a lot of, to COVID. And why many people went online because of COVID. It wasn't for COVID, by the way, most of us would still be in the old age. But yes, because of COVID, many businesses were forced online, many services were forced online. You couldn't pay your taxes, let's say, with your personally, because you couldn't go to office. You couldn't purchase something because people were closed. Anyway, online was a big deal. That's why we increased by 1.5 million. And the internet penetration in Uganda stood at 26.2%. That meant that in terms of penetration, in terms of people now have internet and whatnot, we're still at 26.2% by January 2021. So all I'm saying is I don't think this is possible yet. It's not impossible, by the way, Brenda.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
It's not impossible, but it's just not our priority right now. Right now we're focusing on other things, price of commodities. We need another speaker of parliament. Man, internet is the least of our worries.
Sometimes it moves things like in a good way. Anyway, and even bringing electricity to 46 million Ugandans. It's not going to be possible in these 3 years. because thankfully in urban areas, right, electricity, it's at 60%, like connectivity 60%, but we are still poor in rural areas where it's still at 18%. So internet connectivity, basically, it cannot be possible in these 3 years. Still at 18%. There are remote areas and villages where electricity is so scarce.
It's not there. Why are you saying scarce? It's not there. People use either other sources of electricity, either solar or bio or whatever.
And then even mobile internet, but in deep villages you cannot even find mobile internet there.
But yeah, we are working on it.
We are working.
We are securing your future as government. As government, it's working on it actually. For real.
More parish development money.
Yeah, very much. Because how are we going to send mobile money? I mean, the other day Nabaja was sending mobile money. How was she sending it to everyone across the country?
I'm sure some of them even did not receive it in one way or the other. Your parting shots, Byron, on this?
My parting shots are simple. That one, we all have a desire to see internet across the country. Yeah, I would want to see my cousin in Bulu be able to access internet as much as possible. In Mahooro and whatnot. But you see, it's not possible because one, I don't think it's priority for Uganda currently. I think our priority is we need to first get our house in order. The foundations really. But also it's not impossible. I think if people did the things they were supposed to do, KCA, you're coming up with a smart city model. What does that look like in terms of internet? Can we swallow our pride and visit our friends in Rwanda or Nairobi and get tips and say the truth is we have failed, we need knowledge. Yeah, the Bible says in Proverbs that the day you stop seeking knowledge is the day you start becoming a fool. Anyway, that's besides the point. The point is that we need to figure out a way, yeah, of bringing these services closer to people, because you keep saying now we are moving towards smart city, or we are moving towards internet or growth in ICT and whatnot, but you see, it's just not possible. Also, you can't start having conversation of mobile phones in school, yet they don't have access. They don't have access to internet in the school. So I feel like we are working backwards, which is just fake. But for me, those are my last shots. Yours?
My parting shots on this matter is let's step down. Today we are reading in the New Vision where they are demanding taxes of 1.4 billion shillings, areas on taxes because of failed dysfunctional systems. So if even those small things we are not working on them, then how about internet connectivity in 3 years? Is that really possible? Let's look at it and see. Let's step out of our offices and seek knowledge, like Byron has said. Yeah, we're just going to go in for a short break, but we're going to come back in the next hour with our guest.
The starting point of your soldiering, when they say attention and you hold your legs, you have made yourself a soldier.
And I said, now I know you want me to get saved, so I am going to get saved, but give me time. Can you imagine telling God, if you ask him for something, can you imagine him telling you, give me time?
I praise God that I was condemned. Because if I wasn't condemned by man, then consequently I would have been condemned by God. But it's because of that human condemnation that led me to my salvation.
My name is Alex Mugabe, and next to me,
Shalon Mugabe.
Today, we are hosting a group of couples here to learn together, to work together, to encourage one another, and to grow together. We are glad you can join us.
Welcome to Family Care.
Very honored, very excited. Our ministry is our passion.
Days while we are not talking. Now let us learn, we sort our issues and then we move on. It's just that I didn't grow up seeing it or hearing it.
Do you know that you can now enjoy great enriching shows anywhere through the Family TV app? Here is how to download it. Open Play Store on your phone.